non-government organization with training, research, advocacy, and capacity building. So good evening everyone and welcome in today's research presentation. Is going to be organized by Academy of Nursing Studies and Women's Empowerment Research Studies. Before going in detail about this program, I would like to give brief introduction about ANSWERS. ANSWERS is a public health non-government organization with training, research, advocacy and capacity building, built on the principles of equity and quality. Over the last 25 years, ANSWERS trained and supported nursing personnel in conducting, presenting and publishing research. In January 2018, we made a commitment to intensify efforts to help in quality research studies in nursing care because of gradual deterioration of quality of research study by nurses. In continuation with this, and to enhance the quality of research and dissemination over a period of 8 years, 2018 to 2025, by constantly supporting research and capacity of researchers at 3 levels. These are Deputy, Literati and Illuminati. For Deputy, 5 days workshops were held for first year MSc nursing students from different colleges in different part of the country to clarity of their research concept and to prepare a draft proposal. They were considered as nursing deputy in nursing research. For literati, workshops were held for 3 days for faculty and clinical nurses who completed for PG program and had done a thesis. They are called as literati in nursing research. And Illuminati, for Illuminati who has undergone independent research and published 5 research papers at least, they are considered as Illuminati in nursing research. So we have a literati workshops we have conducted throughout the country, and this is the poster of literati workshop developed based on the nursing research and evidence generation. And after that, who have undergone the literati workshop, after completion of the workshop, they are getting certificate and memento from Dr. Prakash Sharma. Further strengthening of this is our photograph of literati workshop. And further strengthening of nursing research, the presentation of research studies related to nursing care of patient has been organized by ANSWERS once a week. And here participation will be free. Presentation will be divided into series of 10 each, and each presentation will be recorded and saved on the website and will be broadcast on YouTube for wider learning. And here is an announcement that out of 10 presentation, one will be given award of rupees 20,000 for conducting research in clinical nursing. Awards will be given by individual donor. So in this respect, ANSWERS is going to launch Aparna Bhaduri Research Grant to honor research teacher to many senior Indian nurses. The grant will be billed as a corpus from donations received from nurses and others, and the interest from the grant will be used for encouraging researcher in nursing research and for knowledge development in India. So this is all about today's program. Now it is my privilege to welcome Dr. Prakash Sharma to give introductory remarks and announcement about photo album as a tribute to Dr. Aparna Bhaduri, a nursing legend. Madam Prakash Sharma, she is founder of ANSWERS and is renowned epidemiologist, clinical specialist, researcher, research guide and mentor. So ma'am, you are welcome. Now over to you, ma'am. Madam Prakashamma.
Yeah, Mansi, thank you very much. And I consider this a big privilege to be able to launch a photo album on the name of Aparna Baduri, who is known as a legend in nursing research teaching in this country. She has laid the foundations of research concepts among many senior teachers and nurses in this country. She was so meticulous in her research concepts and principles. She was very knowledgeable in theories, nursing theories and lay application. She was adept at the use of scientific tests and statistical methods, and she was thorough in referencing. Even small mistakes she would correct and help students. But above all these things, Dr. Aparna Baduri was very understanding, patient and kind to students when they were doing their thesis. In this year of Nurse and Midwife, 200 years anniversary of Florence Nightingale, we thought it is very, very appropriate that we honor a very senior and legendary nurse in our own country. So we decided to bring out this photo album because as a nursing research organization, we have been associated with Dr. Baduri as a nursing researcher at every stage of our development. In this, we invite all those research students and other students who had association with Dr. Baduri to send their photographs along with her, where they have taken photos with her, to identify the best experiences, the most memorable experiences that they had with her, and please send them to Answers. I'm sure Manasi has already announced the Answers email ID. If not, we will announce it. I'm sure the moderator will announce it. Please send them to us, and with your willingness to be able to put this photo in the album. All those photos which are selected and the content, we will acknowledge and give credit to the person who sends. Please try to be very specific in how you know Dr. Baduri. Make it very personal rather than using general terms. We hope to bring out this album at the end of the first series of these research presentations, that is after 10 presentations, when we are giving the award. During that award, we want to be able to launch and open this photo album. Manasi and the moderator and all of you, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. So it is very exciting moment when the book will be published. We are waiting for this, and I know many eminent persons, nursing personals are here. They will contribute. I hope like this. Now, I am welcoming Sunita Choudhury, Research Fellow at Answers. She will moderate this program. She started her professional course since 2008 as nurse midwife and has acquired master degree in public health from Sri Chaitra Trinua Institute for Medical Science and Technology. Since then, she is working in different non-government organizations on various public health issues. Major work in nursing are restructuring study, nutrition of mother and infant, reproductive and sexual issues, published papers in journals. So I welcome Sunita. Please, now it is over to you. Please start this program.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mansi and Dr. Prakashamma for this opportunity. I'm really excited to moderate this presentation and part of the team to launch Aparna Baduri Research Grant. And a warm welcome to our presenter, critique, and audience joining in the web series. Before we begin, I would like to give a brief orientation and guidelines to the presentation and scoring system. The session will be recorded and will be shared publicly. Audience will note down and share questions in the chat box. Discussion based on audience questions will be moderated after the presentation and critique. Evaluation of the presentation will be done both by the critic and the audience. Audience will score the presentation from 1 to 10, and the score will be sent by SMS to one of the following mobile numbers within 5 minutes after completion of the presentation by researcher. So we are going to put the mobile numbers in the chat box. So I request the audience to note down the mobile number and send the score. Average of the scores received within 5 minutes will be considered as a audience score. Critiquing will be done by Dr. Swati Rane, and critic will score the presentation on a guided scoring sheet. Scores will be announced during the conclusion, and presenter will have 30 minutes to present her study. So I hope these guidelines are clear with the audience and about the scoring system also. So for any assistance, please reach out in the chat box. So without further delay, let's start our presentation. Joining us today is a PhD scholar from West Bengal University of Health Science, who will present her research study, and I hope everybody present here will have a good opportunity to know about clinical nursing research. So let's welcome Ms. Sampa Gupta. Ms. Sampa Gupta is a professor at Neotia Academy of Nursing. She is having diploma in cardiovascular thoracic nursing and MSc in cardiovascular nursing from BM Birla College of Nursing, West Bengal. She worked in various cardiovascular units as staff nurse, then clinical instructor for more than 5 years in various hospitals. She is a trainer of American Heart Association and conducts training on basic life support and advanced cardiac life support to hospital staffs all over India. She is involved in in-service education, CPR training, and many clinical studies and research work. So she was also part of Literati group in 2008, and she had the training on research methodology. Today, she is going to present her study on breathing exercise in nursing intervention for reducing pain during chest tube removal after coronary artery bypass grafting surgery conducted in selected hospitals of West Bengal. Ms. Sampa, it's really good to have you here. Over to you, Ms. Sampa. I will request the organizer to make her host, and she will share her presentation.
Thank you, Shunita. Hi, good evening, everybody. And all of you are most welcome in this Answers Organized Research Presentation web series. And I'm honored to be the first presenter of this research presentation. Today's topic, breathing exercise, a nursing intervention for reducing pain during chest tube removal after CABG. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Pain is a multidimensional subjective experience. When a patient is in pain, there are two types of changes take place, physiological and psychological. In the physiological point of view, pain stimulates sympathetic activity, which increases oxygen consumption, leading to tachycardia and myocardial ischemia. Pain reduces regional blood flow, causing pulmonary compromisation. This pulmonary compromisation again leads to atelectasis, resulting in hypoxia, hypercarbia, and infection. In the psychological aspect, pain increases anxiety, it demoralizes the patient, and pain is one of the important cause of sleeplessness. And again, these three things, anxiety, demoralization, and sleeplessness, increases patient's pain perception. So it is very important. And there is no doubt, pain is very obvious for any post-surgical patient. And we, the nurses, are there to assess and minimize this pain by our nursing intervention as much as possible, because unrelieved pain activates the pituitary adrenal axis, which can suppress the immune system and result in post-surgical infection and poor wound healing. Inadequately managed pain can lead to adverse physical and psychological outcome for the patient. Pain also reduces patient mobility, resulting in complications such as deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolus, and pneumonia. Post-surgical complications related to inadequate pain management negatively affect the patient's welfare and the hospital performance because of extended length of stay and readmission, both of which increase the cost of care. Nurse plays a critical role in implementing measures for pain relief and enhancing patient recovery in post-operative period. The patient who had undergone major cardiothoracic surgery requires post-operative chest tube, which are typically removed within 24 to 48 hours after surgery or when the excess air, blood, or fluid is properly drained out. During that time, the chest tube remains in place. The endothelium that lines the chest cavity adheres to the tube. Therefore,
Good evening, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt, Sampadi. Your presentation is not visible.
okay, fine. It is pain is a multidimensional subjective experience, and it affects the physiological as well as the psychological part. So it is, and the pain is very obvious for any post-surgical patient. So it is our duty as a nurse to assess the pain and intervene accordingly to minimize the pain. It is very important because unrelieved pain activates the pituitary adrenal axis, which can suppress the immune system and result in post-surgical infection and poor wound healing. Inadequately managed pain can lead to adverse physical and psychological outcome for patient. Pain also reduces patient mobility, resulting in complications such as deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolus, and pneumonia. Post-surgical complications related to inadequate pain management negatively affect the patient's welfare and the hospital performance because of extended length of stay and readmissions, both of which increases the cost of care. Nurses play a critical role in implementing measures for pain relief and enhancing patient recovery in post-operative period. The patient who had undergone major cardiothoracic surgery requires post-operative chest tube, which are typically removed within 24 to 48 hours after surgery or when the excess air, blood, or fluid is properly drained out. During the time, the chest tube remains in place. The endothelium that lines the chest cavity adheres to the tube. Therefore, when removed, the pulling force may shear those adhesions and cause pain. The chest tube removal process can result in intense yet transient acute pain and is described as being one of the worst memories of the patient's perioperative experience. Healthcare professionals, especially nurses, should anticipate predictable painful experiences, monitor and intervene accordingly. Cold and heat application, exercise techniques, yoga, biofeedback, music therapy, therapeutic measure, and acupressure. Although there are many potential successful strategies available for pain management, a patient often expresses a great deal of suffering from pain and a lack of adequate pain relief. Keeping these things in mind, the following research problem is stated. A study to evaluate the effectiveness of slow breathing relaxation exercise in controlling pain during chest tube removal of patient who had undergone coronary artery bypass grafting surgery in a selected hospital of Kolkata. The purpose of the study was to determine whether the use of slow breathing relaxation exercise as an adjunct to analgesia reduces the pain during chest tube removal or not. There are 5 objectives of this study: to assess the pain score in the intervention and the control group of patients before, during, and 15 minutes after chest tube removal; to administer selected pain relief measure to one group of patients, that is interventional group; to compare the pain score between the intervention and the control group of patients; to determine the effectiveness of the slow breathing relaxation exercise in terms of reduction of pain, degree of changes in parameters of the pain, and patient's opinion. To find out the association between the pain score and the selected demographic variables. There were two hypotheses. The first hypothesis was the pain score of those patients who have practiced slow breathing relaxation exercise at least 10 minutes during chest tube removal with analgesics is lower in comparison to the pain score of those patients who have received analgesics alone during chest tube removal at 0.01 level of significance. The second hypothesis was there is significant changes in physiological parameters in between those patients who have been practiced slow breathing relaxation exercise at least 10 minutes during chest tube removal with analgesics in comparison to those patients who have received analgesic alone at 0.01 level of significance. The conceptual framework of the present study is based on nursing process, and its aim at evaluating the effectiveness of slow breathing relaxation exercise for pain control in the patient during chest tube removal after coronary artery bypass grafting surgery. As the conceptual framework is based on nursing process, there are 4 phases: assessment, planning, implementation, and evaluation. In the assessment phase, pain determinants were assessed in terms of age, sex, type of CABG, type of analgesics, and time of analgesic administration. Pain was assessed through behavioral pain scale and physiological parameters. It has been planned to provide slow breathing relaxation exercise for 10 times per minute for 10 minutes in the planning phase, and the same was implemented in the implementation. Intensity of the perceived pain of the patient was evaluated. Physiological parameters in terms of heart rate and arterial blood pressure was measured, and patient's opinion was obtained. Coming to research variables, in this study, dependent variable was pain score as measured by behavioral pain score, physiological parameters in terms of heart rate and blood pressure, and patient's opinion. Slow breathing relaxation exercise was considered as independent variable in the study. For slow breathing relaxation exercise, patient was placed in Fowler's position at 45-degree angle with pillow up to the shoulder. Patient was instructed to take a long, slow breath through nose for a count of 3 and then pause for a count of 3 while holding breath. Patient was again instructed to breathe out through mouth for a count of 3. To repeat the cycle and continuing it, focusing on mind on breathing, that is inhalation, pause, and exhalation. Breathing was given 10 cycles per minute for 10 times. This is a study. Research design was quasi-experimental design. There are 2 groups, intervention and the control group. For both the group, pain was assessed at rest before removal of the chest tube. Then slow breathing relaxation exercise was given to the intervention group, and again for both the group, pain was assessed during and 15 minutes after chest tube removal. Ethical approval was obtained through ethics committee of the institution. Informed consent was taken from the patient. Implied consent was obtained from the patient relatives. Consent was also taken from the consultants, intensivists, and from the nursing aide, so that there should not be all the samples were age in between 31 to 75 years. They are oriented to person, place, and time. They have undergone coronary artery bypass grafting surgery. They have received analgesics not more than 1 hour or less than 15 minutes before the procedure. They had been weaned from the ventilator. They did not have any pleural effusion or pneumothorax. Chest tube drainage had decreased to less than 100 ml per 8-hour shift. In this study, 60% of the samples belonged to who had undergone coronary artery bypass grafting surgery. 78% of the samples showed that incidence of ischemic heart disease is higher in male, as 78% of the sample were male. 70% of the coronary artery bypass grafting surgery was performed without cardiopulmonary bypass machine, that is OPAM surgery. Injection morphine has been used for the purpose of analgesia for 66% sample before chest tube removal. The most commonly used pain assessment tool for acute pain are numerical rating scale, verbal rating scale, visual analog scale, faces pain scale device, and behavioral pain scale. In this study, behavioral pain scale was used as a tool. It is the observation of the investigator regarding the behavioral changes in terms of facial expression, movements of the upper limbs, and movements of the lower limbs. The behavioral pain scale was modified from the Jane Young behavioral pain scale, which was published in the Intensive Critical Care Nursing Journal in the year 2006.
Sampadi.
In the behavioral pain scale, there were actually three components: facial expression, upper limbs, and lower limbs. If the facial expression was relaxed, score was given 1. If it is partly tightened or eyebrow lowered, score was given 2. Fully tightened or eyelid closing, the score was given 3. And if it was grimacing, score was 4. In case of upper limb, if it is normally moving or relaxed, score is given 1, tightened and partially bent 2, fully bent with finger flexion or making fist 3, and if it is holding anything like bed rails, bed sheet or the caregiver hands, score was 4. In case of lower limbs, if it is normally moving or relaxed, score 1. If it is tightened or partially bent, score 2. If the pain score lies in between 3 to 4, it was considered as mild pain, 5 to 7 considered as moderate pain, and if the pain score lies in between 8 to 10, then it was considered as severe pain. Pain was assessed thrice: before the chest tube removal, during chest tube removal, and 15 minutes after chest tube removal. Then tool 2. The tool 2 was the physiological parameters. Physiological parameters were measured in terms of heart rate and arterial blood pressure. Tool 3 was patient opinioneer. The opinioneer consists of 10 statements in a 5-point rating scale with response as strongly agree, agree, uncertain, disagree, and strongly disagree in terms of pain reduction and sense of well-being. Content validity of the tool was established from 8 experts. There was 100% agreement for tool 1 and tool 2 and 81% agreement for tool 3. Tool 3 was remodified along with the research guides according to the expert's opinion. To establish the reliability of tool 1 and tool 3, integrated method was chosen. Obtained R value was 0.9, so the tool was considered as highly reliable. But for tool 2, where is the measurement of the heart rate and the blood pressure, in the hemodynamic monitor, both the modules considered. Look at these things. They are ECG also showing the heart rate 80 and the arterial blood pressure module also showing the 80. So the heart rate was considered as reliable in these cases. In case of arterial blood pressure, it was cross-checked manually by the investigator every case. Coming to the data analysis. For the data analysis, there was computation of mean and standard deviation of pain score in between experimental group and control group. Independent t-test was done to determine the effectiveness of slow breathing relaxation exercise in controlling pain and changes of physiological parameters of pain during chest tube removal of the patient who had undergone coronary artery bypass grafting surgery. Analysis of variance also computed to assess the significant changes in physiological parameters during chest tube removal of the patient who had undergone CABG. Chi-square test done to identify the association of pain score along with selected demographic variables. For analysis, the first null hypothesis was there is no significant differences in pain score for those patients who have been practiced slow breathing relaxation exercise at least 10 minutes during chest tube removal. For this, the t-test was computed. Look at this bar. This bar diagram depicts the mean pain response of both the group before, during, and 15 minutes after chest tube removal. Here, the yellow bar indicates the experimental group and the green is the control group. We can see in this bar diagram as during and pain score of the experimental group was lower than the This table shows the T value. The T value before related value 2.66, but higher than it is 5.65 and 5.57, which is higher than the 2.66, so that the null hypothesis is rejected and research hypothesis is accepted, and it has been concluded there is significant differences in pain score in between two groups, that is the intervention group and the control group. As the mean pain score of the intervention group was little higher before the tube removal, but during the chest tube removal and 15 minutes after chest tube removal, in comparison to the control group, it is lower. So the population seems to be normally distributed. The computed T value was also significant in during and 15 minutes after the chest tube removal. Hence, the result showed the efficacy of the slow breathing relaxation exercise in controlling during chest tube removal. Findings of Frischner, SA, Curry, DA, Moodman, Gier support the use of slow deep breathing relaxation exercise as an adjunct to the use of opioids for pain management during chest tube removal among patients who have undergone coronary artery bypass grafting surgery in their study. The next null hypothesis was there is no significant changes in physiological parameters in between those patients who have been practiced slow breathing relaxation exercise at least 10 minutes during chest tube removal with analgesic in comparison to those patients who have received analgesic alone. To test this null hypothesis, t-test and ANOVA both were computed. This bar diagram shows the mean changes of the heart rate during and 15 minutes after chest tube removal. Here in this blue bar represents the experimental group and the purple bar is the control group. We can see that during the chest tube removal, mean changes of the heart rate was higher in the experimental group, but 15 minutes after chest tube removal, it is lower than the control group. This bar diagram represents the mean changes of systolic blood pressure during and 15 minutes after chest tube removal. In both the cases, we can see the mean changes of systolic blood pressure is higher in the control group for both the cases. The light blue is the control group. This bar diagram shows the mean changes of the diastolic blood pressure during 15 minutes. Here also we can see the maroon bar indicates the control group for both the cases, like during chest tube removal and 15 minutes after chest tube removal, mean changes of diastolic blood pressure is higher in case of control group. The computed T value for three components of the physiological parameters, that is heart rate, systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure, all the time, like during chest tube removal and after chest tube removal, was lower. T was 0.162, 0.34, 1.87, 0.22, 0.21 and 1.13, which is lower than the tabulated T value at 0.01 level of significance. So it indicates there is no significant changes in the physiological parameters in between two groups. To identify is there any changes within the group during the pain, ANOVA is also computed. In the ANOVA, for the three things, heart rate, systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure, computed F value, that is 0.87, 3.121 and 1.71 is lower than the critical F value, which is 4.85 at 0.01 level significance, which suggests there is no significant changes in physiological parameters just because of the pain within the group, that is in the experimental group. And the same thing also computed in the control group. In the control group also, we can than the critical F value. So for both the group, there is no significant changes in the physiological parameters. All those findings helps to accept the null hypothesis and reject the research hypothesis, and it has been concluded that there is no significant changes in the physiological parameters in the patient during chest tube removal. The findings showed little mean difference in physiological parameters in between experimental group and control group. but the computed t-value and f-value were not significant. Thus, the result indicated that slow breathing relaxation exercise has little effect in changes in the physiological parameters, but the changes are negligible and not significant. The findings are supported by the findings of the study of Alni Martinez A and her team that the variation in blood pressure and heart rate during surgical extraction of the molars were within normal limits. In the case of blood pressure, no significant changes were recorded. The same type of study report. Chi-square also done to find out is there any association between the pain score and the selected demographic variables. This table 5 shows the chi value of the experimental group. Here the chi value for the age, sex, analgesic administered and type of CABG was lower, that is 3.06, 1.94, 0.9 and 1.5 than the tabulated value, which indicates there is no significant association between the pain score and the selected demographic variables among the experimental group. Same thing was also computed for the control group. Here also chi value is lower, like age, sex, analgesic administration and the type of CABG. For all the cases, it also suggests there is no significant change association between the pain score and the selected demographic variables among control group. In the present study, there is no significant association found between the pain perception and the age, sex, type of surgery and analgesic received. So this study finding also indirectly proven the efficacy of slow breathing relaxation exercise. Similar findings of the another study by Gift A.G., Bolgiano C.S. and Cunningham J. showed that the sensation were similar for the old and young subject, with younger subjects reporting higher intensity. Women reported pain more frequently than men, but the intensities of the sensation reported by men and women were not significantly different. Table 7 represents the opinion here on the effect of slow breathing relaxation exercise in terms of frequency and percentage. 77% sample felt better, 67% sample felt less anxious, 70% sample felt relaxed, 73% sample experienced peace of mind, 73% sample felt less bored, 80% sample expressed that they were free from worries and tension, 73% sample expressed less mental tiredness, 77% sample felt happy, 83% sample were able to cope with pain as their opinion, and 87% sample recommend slow breathing relaxation exercise as a measure for pain relief. The patient expresses in their opinion that while practicing slow breathing relaxation exercise, their mind was getting diverted from the worries and tension of anticipated pain due to chest tube removal. Similar was reported by Claudia Anderson, Barbara Clancy, Ruth Hasnain, that the women using breathing and relaxation exercise during mid-trimester abortions reported a significantly more positive experience in their opinion. Coming to the implications of the research study. Patients' pain management is a priority, and nurses are in a unique position to provide comfort measures during chest tube removal. Using the current research findings, nurses can use slow breathing relaxation exercise as an effective intervention in their practice. It has not only the physiological dimension, fully complementary therapy could be used as nursing intervention in routine nursing practice. Apart from the chest tube removal, slow breathing relaxation exercise can be effectively practiced in the other area of pain management, like during removal of arterial or venous sheath, during removal of central line or any invasive catheter, and especially the removal of implant in the brachytherapy, which is very, very painful. So this research finding suggests that slow breathing relaxation exercise can be incorporated as an effective means of pain management in the clinical practice for the nurses, for the patient by the nurses, as it has no side effect, it doesn't require any cost, and it can be easily given whenever it is required. So with this hope, I'm ending over here, but before that, I want to convey my sincere thanks and gratitude to the entire answer team, especially Madam Dr. Prakashamma, Madam Manushi Jana, Madam Shanda, for giving me this opportunity. I must convey my sincere thanks to Dr. Swati Rane and Madam Shunita Chaudhuri for being the critic and moderator of this session. I must acknowledge the efforts of my guide, Dr. Shonali Gangopadhyay, Principal of B.A. Birla College of Nursing. And not at the end, from the beginning and throughout, in my inner mind, I am conveying my sincere gratitude and regards to all of our beloved Madam, Dr. Apoda Bhaduri, as this study also was blessed by her valuable suggestion and opinion. Thanking you all. Thanks for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Sampadi. Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I'd really like to give you a round of applause.
Yeah,
really.
Okay, I am.
Okay, you make Sandhya as a host.
Making you the host now.
You make Sandhya as a host.
Sandhya. Okay.
And in the meanwhile, I like to ask audience, please score the presentation. You have 5 minutes. Please send the SMS in the numbers given in the chat box.
I made Sandhya now host.
Yes.
So Sandhya, now over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Please audience, please score the presentations. Send your score via SMS. You have the mobile numbers in the chat box. Otherwise, Sandhya, can you put the slide, that mobile number slide?
Yeah.
Audience, please score the presentation, and hope organizer will receiving the messages. So I will request organizer, please do the average and share me at the end of this presentation. Sandhya, your screen is not visible, huh? So we have now, please audience, please send your SMS, send your score. And now I will take the opportunity to welcome our critic, Dr. Swati Rane. Dr. Swati Rane is a founder, Siva Shakti Healthcare Consulting and Vice President of Clinical Nursing Research Society. She is a registered nurse, hospital administrator, and PhD scholar from TISS, Tata Institute for Social Sciences. She has done extensive work on influence of physical work environment on nurses' practice and outcomes. She has worked in hospital planning, developing health work environment, stress management, conducted attitude and behavioral trainings for health staff. So I will request Dr. Swati to critique this presentation, and over to you, Dr. Swati.
Thank you, Sunita, for giving me the floor. I would first like to thank Answers team for giving me this opportunity on their first presentation series and on the first presentation itself, and having faith in me. I thank the whole Answer team and Prakashamma ma'am especially for having faith in me to take this series forward because I and Sunita will be the coordinators for these 10 presentations. So I really thank from my deep heart to Prakasama ma'am. And also about the grant, I was very happy that we are starting this grant, which will really help the nurses to come forward to take research, and there will be a competitive spirit among nurses. And that is what is needed, I feel, today in the nursing fraternity. So coming back to critiquing, I was very impressed with Mrs. Champa Gupta about her presentation overall. And I would take her permission to give her the feedback. Is it fine if I start with the feedback, Champaji?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So we had actually done a guideline, the answers team, and I will just take you all through the guideline. We have put the dimensions for assessment in 5 categories. One is conceptual and the theoretical component. Second is the methodological aspects. Then is the analysis, interpretation and discussion implications. And then is the presentation style of the presenter. And then how the response is there from questions which we'll be asking them. And this was one part, and second part, as they have already told you, it will be from the audience. So what I noticed was that it was very well thought of idea and very much required as a nursing intervention in today's so much of analgesics are used and it is not so much needed. I feel that these nursing interventions are very much needed by the patients for these procedures because they are psychologically already impacted, and especially all these things have the nursing care overall, and it was brilliantly presented, I can say. So about the conceptual thing, I was very happy. The only thing what I still feel is that we can still make it more scientific in rigor. Okay, so that is what I think when you're comparing the theoretical aspects, when you're considering, there needs to be more of theories of nursing theories. There are many nursing theories which needs to be there. I think if that we put, that will give a upper edge to the nursing research, I feel. So we should bring in more of these theories. Operational definition is very much important in any research, be it nursing research or a sociological research. So our variables need to be defined operationally. So if that is there, again, it gives a scientific rigor to the thing. And otherwise, I felt the hypotheses were very well thought of and they were very much well thought of also. The only thing is that there were 2 verbose. So we can always think of, minimizing the words and making it very crisp and short so that, it becomes very easier when a reader looks, it becomes very clear at one aspect only. So instead of making it in a paragraph type of thing, it should be not more than 2 or 3 lines. That is what I think about the conceptual thing. Otherwise, it was beautifully taken off. Methodological aspects, I felt that we need to have more of these tools which we use. Those tools many are there, okay, but I feel that these tools have to be more accepted internationally, okay. And when we are using the tools, I think there were many objectives and many tools were used. So it was actually a mixed methodology, I can say, overall. So in that, I felt that somewhere I felt it could be that, as a researcher, you must have definitely done the validity and the reliability part. I still feel that, if we go on the international aspects, then the validity and reliability should be tested by the researcher who has given you that tool. Okay, so that should be there in the presentation also. Definitely, you as a researcher have checked, but also whoever has made that tool also should had used these things in the various clinical things that will help us to go forward. And limitations of the study I didn't see in the methodological part. So that was one thing. Then, but I was very impressed with the rigor of the mixed methods you had taken with aspects to the objectives what you had. So you have not missed somewhere in the completion of the objectives and the methodology. Okay, so that was wonderful. I feel analysis. I think you have done beautifully. I don't think I should, check there because in presentation styles, you were very confident. You knew your topic very well, and the only thing what I felt was in the slide preparation, if it can be less verbose and more of even the color of your, if you could have kept all the control of one color and all the experimental of one color. So when we are seeing it becomes very easy for the flow. Okay, that one part I felt, but otherwise I think presentation style was fantastic. The researcher knew about the concept, the theory, and also the knowledge about the research. I could feel very much that you knew inside out about your own research, and also the knowledge about the topic was very much there when you were presenting. That is what I felt. So these are my points, and I will have few questions to ask you if you permit.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So before that, do you want, Sunita, do you want to tell us about the audience scope?
No. I will tell at the end.
End. Okay, fine. So going back to your study, in the literature review, did you find any researchers which had used this type of study before?
Yeah, that was that. It is there in my slide. Just let me.
You
Can
can
I
tell
show
us.
the?
Yeah.
Okay, can you, Sandhya, can you make me host again?
No, you tell Sampadi.
You can tell us the number. I have the
Okay.
slides with me. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Just let me see. This is the study which has been conducted by the Fisner essay, Karidiem and Modman, who has done also the same study. It was a comparison of the two pain management strategy during chest tube removal. So they have used the slow breathing relaxation exercise with opioids and opioids alone. And it has been published in the Heart and Lung Journal in the year 2005. And from that only, that was the master study, and I want to do the same study.
Okay, excellent. And about your limitations, what were difficulties for you for doing the studies?
Regarding the limitation of the study, the first thing, there are actually three limitation was there. The first limitation was that it was done only in on a small scale. It was not a larger scale, only 30-30 has been taken. And the second thing was the reliability of the arterial blood pressure only measured manually. So that is another limitation of the study. And the pain, as it is a very subjective experience of a person. So pain threshold is varies in different individual, which is beyond the investigator's control. That was the major limitation of the study. And another one more also there, whatever I have access, that is the just immediate effect. The slow breathing relaxation exercise have a long effect, time effect or not, that also not assessed because the long-term effect was not monitored and assessed. That also will be considered as limitation of the study.
And what was the period of the study, the data collection?
It was full 1 month.
1 month. And how did you select your samples?
So when I went to the every day I had to go at night 3 o'clock in the unit, and as in our institution there the test tube is getting removed at 4 o'clock. So I am every day I'm getting the patient, maybe 2, maybe 3 after the CABG. If I'm getting 2 patients, so one I'm taking as a intervention group and then I'm keeping as a control. Like that way I took full 1 month, and every night I had to go at 3 p.m. and complete the things and to come early in the morning.
My God, that is a difficult task, but you did it. That's great. And I think it is very inspiring for the other nurses also. So what do you think from your study, what have you learned, which you would like to share with us, which you never thought that, you would get this experience, and what do you would want to tell others who would like to repeat the same study? What
Actually, while
precautions?
doing pain chest tube removal process, as who knows, this is very much painful procedure. So afterwards it is only removing the second or third POD, and even so the patients are with full of pain, because after the CABG there are a lot of lines, everything, so patients are in pain. And when we are telling that they will be removed, just they will be removed, so they are in pain. Now while practicing this slow breathing relaxation exercise, when few patients told me yes, they are getting some positive effect and they are able to divert their mind from the concentration of the pain perception to the inhalation, pause and exhalation. So I feel it is very good for the patient, because it is our duty, our responsibility rather, to provide comfort to the patient. So this is one thing. And in my personal experience, I have seen when the implant of the brachytherapy is taking out, it is really very painful procedure for all the women who are experiencing that. Actually, I want to do, or I will inspire the others also to do this study and to see is this slow breathing exercises affecting in their cases or not.
Would you like them to take the same tools and do the same experiment in different settings?
Yeah, they can do the same study, or they can modify as per their need. If it,
what modification did you do? What modifications did you do in your tool?
So there are a lot of things like besides the facial expression and things, movement and all other things was there. I took the 3 components, because while doing the chest tube removal, the face is visible, hands position is very easy to see, and the limbs also, lower limbs. So I took these 3 components to assess the pain.
Okay, and in the study which you had quoted, in that also they had taken the same things what you had taken right now.
Yeah. No, it has been what they have prepared. That is elaborated tool, and I have taken from that these 3 components, because I have modified from their tool.
Yeah, and this is what usually I was taught in my college, that when we take a tool we have to take it complete. So then the validity and the reliability of the tool is always there, and the same research can be, the same process can be utilized in different settings. But if we pull out the things, then there could be different changes in the different settings. And as a researcher, I feel that we should always do something which can be replicated by others, so that we can get what we are doing. An evidence-based thing can be created in the nursing research. So excellent! I'm so happy that Shampa, you have done this, and all the best. And I give you more wishes for your next researches, what you will do, and I'm sure you will do much better than this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your suggestion, and blessings all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm done from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you presentation. We hope this presentation will find informative and the critique will be very useful. Now we are opening this session as a live question answer session. So audience, if you have questions want to ask directly, you can ask to us, or you can write in the chat box. So I think I have seen one question. Somebody is saying one. Sampadi,
Yeah.
a degree.
I also want to see that. Maybe it is a typing mistake. What she has found out. So let me change
Okay.
that thing.
And
Yeah. That is just a printing mistake.
Sunita, I just
58.
want to ask her one more question, which I missed out, which I just saw
Okay, okay.
right now.
Please,
The size of the sample, you had used some formula, or how did you think about taking only 60?
No, in that time I didn't use any formula because of the I got only, it was my master's study, so I got only 1 month time, and I thought how many I will be able to get, so I just kept it minimal, the 60 only.
And it was from one unit. It was
Yeah, it was from
scope-
one unit. It was from one unit only.
1 unit.
It was from one unit.
Okay, thank you so much.
yeah, one of the participants, her name is Somi Bala. She had written that sample was too less as limited to 60. So she
Yeah,
wants
she
to
is
know.
correct only, because for the study it needs to be a more and more sample, and there are a lot of CBGs there, but as because of the time constraint was there, so it was taken only 60, 60, 30. And one more thing is that for getting a CABG patient with all those inclusion criteria, that the patient has to be weaned from ventilator, there will be no pleural effusion, no pneumothorax, there will be minimal uses of the inotropes. So my samples, I have made it very specific. In all those criteria has to be met up. So it was not possible to collect more than more sample, but she is correct. The more the sample, more the better result and more reliable.
Any audiences want to ask questions directly, you can switch on your camera and ask directly if you want to ask.
Good evening, one and all. This is Reddy Rani. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, ma'am, it's a good presentation, and you have taken a nursing intervention study in a CABG client. My question is, you have selected the sample in the same setting, and you have not randomized your sample. Have you omitted the painkiller to your experimental subjects?
No, ma'am, it was along with the analgesic. If you see my sample criteria, here what I have written, that they will not, all the samples were not receiving the analgesic within more than 1 hour or less than 15 minutes. And all of they are receiving only 2, either morphine or the fentanyl. But
Yes.
majority of my sample was
Yes.
used morphine,
Yes,
and
yes.
it was 1 hour before.
So your sample is with the analysis. Then
Yeah.
my question is, because I have seen my students also saying the same thing, how can we differentiate that? Is it your intervention is reduced pain, or the painkiller is reduced the pain?
But for that only I took the control group also. So for every intervention group and the control group, what was seen in the intervention group, the pain score was before the chest tube removal, it was higher, the mean pain response. Whereas the mean pain response of the experimental group was lower than the control group during the chest tube removal as well as the 15 minutes after chest tube removal. So it indicates as because of they have practiced the slow breathing relaxation exercise and their mind diverted from the perception of the pain, it is reducing the pain perception. And T-test also is showing the same thing. Before the chest tube removal, for both the group, experimental and the control group, there was no significant changes. So the groups are similar. All of them are getting the analgesic, or for all of them they are having the same things, but still during chest tube removal and the 15 minutes after chest tube removal, there is a significant differences in the pain score, which actually proven the efficacy of the slow breathing relaxation exercise.
Yeah, I agree with you, ma'am. The thing is, the chest tubes are different. Some tubes are in pleural cavity, some tubes are in myocardial, layers. Then some are left side, some are right side. The thing is, the placement of the tubes, when we are removing the tubes, it causes a lot of pain. So we cannot judge that which tube is causing less pain and which tube is causing more pain. And now you have taken a sample till 71 age group. I have seen 9 members
you
are
are
there in that category. And pain threshold is totally different from person to person. You agreed it. Then
Agreed.
how do you identify that these kind of people are having more pain or less pain with your intervention?
Madam, for that only I did the chi-square test to see that is there any association between the pain score and there or not.
All the values are shown no significant. That's what
So
I'm thinking.
So what is that value is only telling the whatever the age was there or whatever the, madam, first one thing more, I didn't assess separately like what is the pleural tube or the right side or left side or abdomen, that is not assessed in this study. So I cannot give you the correct answer. But what you are telling about the age difference and the other, to determine that things, I did a chi-square for every component. I did the chi-square for the mild pain, moderate pain and the severe pain with the age, with the type of CBG, with the time of analgesic received and what are the type of analgesic, and everywhere it is showing not significant, which indicates there is no association between the pain perception and all those demographic variables. So whatever the changes were there, the changes is because of the breathing exercise.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Rani ma'am.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, Rani ma'am. We have one question in the chat box. Please, Rani ma'am, you mute yourself. And one, how the researcher alone could apply all those instruments, and it is, you said as it is at 3 a.m. you have to go and do this study. So how did you taught them breathing exercise, slow breathing?
Very good. See, the first tool was just to assess the pain. So when removing the chest tube, that I am not, the investigator is not removing the chest tube. Investigator was with the patient or with the entire team to assess the pain or to monitor their facial expression, hands position or the limbs position. Fine. To check the heart rate and the arterial blood pressure, it was there in the hemodynamic monitor, and it was obviously the blood pressure was monitored once. Now coming to the question, how I have taught the breathing exercise. Every day I went to the patient was chosen, consent was taken from the patient. I have expressed the objective of the study, why I came, what I want to do with him or her. And then I have demonstrated before the chest tube removal how to do it. And then when they agreed to do that, then I took the measurement of the pain score and the blood pressure and the heart rate. Then I have given 10 minutes or just after finishing of the 10-minute cycle, they are ready and they took the breathing chest tube. So that is the way I did it.
Okay, thank you, Sampaji.
May I ask you one small that question?
Madam,
actually, that question was asked by me. That as a researcher, actually, I have just finished my MPhil and I'm PhD scholar under nursing consortium. So actually, one person to.
I can't hear you, please.
And, actually, now am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought that as a researcher that altogether these things one person cannot manage, because this is scientific measures. For every aspect, we have to be very scrupulous and very, that means rigor, what Swapna ma'am has told. So I think to keep this rigor, it is very difficult for one person to do all these things. Moreover, at 3 a.m. of night, that means in the so early in the morning, how the patients cooperated with this, that means to listen that means see your demonstration and practice all these things. I think it is so much difficult. So how you are
to take me in the hospital? And
no, that is not. I am not asking that. I am not asking
I'm telling Purnima ji.
Yes,
It is possible.
yes.
yeah, it is possible for it is possible to monitor, because as an investigator, I am not the person to remove the tube or anything. There are two staffs who are removing the
No.
chest tube.
I am asking regarding the patients at 3 a.m. Patients were, that means have been awakened from their sleep and teach the breathing exercise at 3 a.m. Do you think that if
No,
I
no,
am the patient, how can
no, what I
cooperate
told,
with it?
now I'm telling what I told. I am going there at 3 a.m. to understand the things, but the chest tube they are removing at 4 a.m. It is the protocol.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
it is early.
Whether it is 3 or 4, it is the
Okay.
same.
Yes.
It is the protocol of that particular institution.
It was
Every night,
difficult, I think. It was
yeah,
very
every night
difficult, I
they are
think.
removing. Yeah, what was the protocol? They are removing the chest drain at the night. So after the CABG, when they are there, they are at around 3:30. They will give us chest physio and all those things. And the persons who are eligible for chest tube removal, they will remove the drain. Then they will give they'll do the dressing and all those things, change the bed, and they will make the patient comfortable. All the morning care will be given. So within 5 to 6 o'clock, they will finish their job. So it was protocol there. That is the reason I had to go every day, every night. Otherwise, it could be early in the morning or in a convenient time. But it was their protocol in that institution. So I had to go there in every night.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay.
I'm really excited how participants are like participating in this, and we understand how somebody have worked hard for this research study. So, any more questions? Anybody, please?
I want to
Participant?
speak.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Hunda ma'am, please ask the question.
My question, first of all, I must congratulate Prakashama for starting this series, and for the award-winning research presentation, because research is my passion. And Dr. Aparna Badri was my teacher. So I respect her a lot, and the first Nursing Research Society of India was also formed by me based on certain experiences which I saw in the hospital. I think she has selected a very, very wonderful problem, which she, if we can get rid of this tube insertion and tube removal, which can be so difficult for the patient to go through also, and to be with the tube, continue to be with the tube. My only request is, all of you have already pointed out quite a few, which you think are not the correct things to be done in the research study. My only request is that she should use this as a pilot study. The sample is very small, 60 patients, and being experimental research especially. So if she can use this as a
pilot,
as a pilot study, and you can replicate in a bigger, it can be really implemented. Now, another request is that when you do study and you find that it has been really successful and it has really helped in the nursing care services, you please see to it that it is implemented. Just don't leave it that you've done it and that's the end of it. And the publishing, just publishing is not enough. You see it in India, that is what Dr. Prakashma I know very well. I've been to Hyderabad, I've lived with her and done all sorts of work with her. You can talk to her, she knows me very well. And so my request is, now you're doing such a good job, please see that whatever the studies which are selected and which can be, replicated in a bigger sample, utilize them for implementation to improve the standard of nursing care services. I know Swati, Dr. Swati Rane also. She is our Vice President, Clinical Nursing Research Society of India, which we have just started 1 year back, and I'm the advisor for that. And so we are really wanting that the research in nursing must come up, not just lie on the stacks for others to refer and replicate. No, they must be implemented. Thank you so much for giving me time.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Hunda ma'am, for your great appreciation. And we have one question that let me ask. Where is that? I think you have mentioned in your slide also, like do you find any difference? Wait, do there any difference in vital signs of patient after the slow breathing relaxation technique in regard to different types of CABG?
Yeah, there is little differences is there. It is not like that there is no differences. Yes, there is some changes in the heart rate and the systolic and the diastolic blood pressure, but whatever the changes is there, it is not statistically significant.
Okay, so we can conclude the question and answer session now. So I like to ask the organizer to give me the score for this presentation, and and I will request Dr. Swati, please give me your score also. Dr. Swati, please give me your score. You can tell the score. Dr. Swati, are you audible?
Sunita,
Yes.
I should tell the scores, or you are going to combine the scores and tell together?
No, you tell me the critic score. And
Okay, my critic score is 6.
okay, and audience score is 9.1. Wow. Wow, really great. Really. So our audience have really appreciated your presentation, Sampadi.
Thank you.
So congratulations and thank you. And I want to, like, as we are going to end our session, I like to request, and I have a practical question, as you have used this method. So as Honda Madam also said, we should amplify in some study, or you should use this study. So are you doing this method in your practicing, or are you doing any advocacy for using this slow breathing exercise?
Yeah, when it has been seen that the slow breathing relaxation exercise is really, the patients are liking, they are 80% patient, 87% patients are recommending that they are enjoying. So it has been taught to the nursing staffs who are there in that particular unit. So while doing the chest tube removal, they are practicing that now slow breathing relaxation. So they are asking the patient to take the breathe and all. So it's a practice.
Okay, okay. So you are teaching the hospital staff in cardiovascular?
Yeah. I'm encouraging the staff nurse, rather instead of teaching to practice that thing.
Okay, good. Dr. Swati, do you have any other comments or?
Yeah, I just want to ask her how is she planning?
I have one suggestion in this regard. May I?
Yeah. Purnima ji, please say.
Yes. Actually, I wanted to tell you that on that when they are actually removing the that chest tube, during that, if that means immediately before that, if we don't teach them, if we teach them earlier, I think the evening before the chest tube, day before the actually evening, I think actually the previous evening, what I actually want to tell you that if we teach them that in the evening,
one day earlier,
so earlier, so that they can, and tell them that to practice when they are removing the chest tube, I think that will be more beneficial.
Yeah.
more beneficial.
From the earlier, they will, if they learn, so they can practice.
Yes,
when they are removing the.
Thank you, Kundu ma'am. Actually, the suggestion is like pre-operative. You can teach them
pre-operative teaching of the breathing exercise.
So it will be very helpful for them in post-operative care. Okay, so Miss somebody, like, really we are closing and at the end of our time together. So do you like to suggest, or do you like to give something for the audience as a takeaway regarding?
I'm so sorry about
please.
Yeah. This was the 6 was the score which was actually given to her out of 8, to make it more clear. And if the audience questions are over, then I will like to give her the remaining 2 marks.
Okay, we are over with the audience question. If audience have any question, please write to answers mail. But now we are closing. We have closed that code.
So those 6 were out of 8, and after the audience you are getting 2 marks. So your whole score out of 10 is 8.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Too much
So,
more.
yeah, because that was planned by Prakasama ma'am that the first marks will be before the audience, and after you give the answer the questions, the 2 marks will be added as per your things. So your overall score is 8 out of 10. And
Hmm.
the second thing what I want to ask her is, how are you planning to publish this course?
So we are at the
No,
end of
no, not about this course. Sorry, I used the wrong word. I want to ask Shampaji, how are you going to plan to publish this study?
No, it has been already I have published in the Asian Journal of Cardiac Nurses.
Okay. And then would you like to inspire other nurses to do the same study?
Yeah, obviously, yes, because this breathing exercise is very simple procedure. It has no side effect. It is very beneficial for the patient. So if you are doing a lot of study in the different aspects of the pain management, I think it will be the beneficial for the patient. And if we can implement it rather than as evidence-based practice, so it will be as a whole, it will be beneficial in our patient, and it will be a good for the nursing care. So I will suggest.
yeah, I will request audience, if you like to have any guidance from Miss Sampa, you can, somebody will share her contact details in the chat box if you want, or otherwise like to answers mail. We will really get back to you and give you guidance, proper guidance in this research. And congratulations on Miss Sampadi. You have like critic is 8 score and the audience is like 9.1. Congrats.
Thank you.
But excellent, and we would want more research from you.
Yeah. So I will.
At present, I am doing one study, so that is for my PhD, where I am assessing the impact of depression on the diabetic management in different way.
Okay. And I have one general question. If you receive this Aparna Bhaduri Research Grant Scholarship, like grant, sorry, so what will you do with it? What you
I
will
have
do
to
with
think.
I'm sure she'll use it for the studies, for her further studies and betterment of the patient.
Definitely. I will rather inspire to the others, my junior fellows. Obviously, yes.
Thing. Okay. So I like to say, like, it's been an extraordinary evening and a great response from the audience. We really do appreciate your interest in this important series and interest in clinical nursing research. Really, it's a very big contribution we are doing, and it's because of you only. So, and I like to thank Answers team for their effort in coordinating and organizing the web series. And I'll, Sandhya, can you please share the screen? I like to announce the second research paper, which we are going to do on next Thursday on the same time. So please, audience, join on Thursday, next Thursday, same time. We are going to do our second paper presentation, research presentation. So the topic is, so the second presentation will be effect of yoga therapy on diabetes mellitus in nursing staff. It will be by Miss Priyanka Akut, and we will be doing in next Thursday, 24th of September, same time, 7 to 8:30. So I request audience to please join that also, and please write to us in answers mail for any feedback or any questions. Thank you. We are closing this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.